Hello, welcome to the show. So I'm here in myVolts Dublin office. I'm Caroline, Director of Operations for myVolts. So I run the office here and I do operations, and I also sometimes they let me out and about, and you might have met me maybe Superboot or Synthfest or one of those kind of events. And I'm talking to Luke, my colleague and friend. He is in the Porto office and he runs the development of the myVolts products from there. So we thought we'd get together today, have a little chat over Zoom, because we do a lot of our work over Zoom. We run a collaborative kind of office. Before COVID,
Yeah,
we were even doing it. So we know how to work together through Zoom.
yeah.
And
Well, we also felt, Caroline, didn't we, that it's it's nice for people who are using our products to get another chance to sort of know the people behind the products and hear about sort of the reasons why and how we develop things. So yeah, we're hoping that we can sort of share a bit of that with you guys.
yeah, and this is the first time we've done it. We're just trying something, it might be a
Yeah,
little bit rough and ready, but we hope that we'll have a bit of fun and you'll learn something as well. We'll probably learn something too. So we thought where would be a good place to start, and really we're kind of starting with how to power Volcas, because I think we can both agree that we've been on a long, strange journey of powering the Korg Volca, really as a core part of our products, and a way to talk to our customers and a way to understand, really, like so many other people in
yeah.
since we started with Volcas. So do you want
Maybe,
to
maybe,
tell
maybe
us a little
Caroline.
bit?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I can go back a little bit further, a step further, and just like the whole idea of like USB power for synths and where that came from, and I mean, if there is anything, we do a lot of different things, but if there's anything at the core of what we do, it's this idea that we can USB power gear, and I mean, I suppose that goes back to when we started selling power supplies, which is, I mean, the company started maybe 20 years ago. And then after about 5 years, we decided that there was a good market in selling power supplies. And, when we got into that, we found that about maybe 80% of the stuff we sold was for musical instruments.
Yeah, because
Um,
a lot of musical instruments don't come with a plug, basically. So people are left going, what plug do I buy? You can buy an expensive plug from the manufacturer, but perhaps you can have something less expensive, but well spec'd and high quality.
Yeah, well, that's it. And we thought we could do a little bit of work for the customer where we would actually, match up what the specification of the power supply they needed. So rather than selling a 9-volt center positive power supply, we would sell one for a Korg Volca, and we'd make sure it's got the exact right tip size and all that sort of thing. And I mean, that sort of, like I said, that's a very like good way on the internet where you can sort of organize your sales options quite easily. So we did that for a while, and in doing that, I think we sort of got a window on like what people needed power supplies
Yeah.
for, and it was nice to find that, like, when we thought about it, that a lot of what we were selling power supplies for was actually quite low power, and USB was able to provide a small amount of power, but enough for a lot of guitar pedals and small synths and things like Korg Volca. Um,
And as well, of course, there's an added advantage for musicians if it's USB, because they don't have to worry about plugging it into different locales, like if they're on tour or traveling. And also making it mobile, of course, is the big key piece of the whole thing. USB is mobile. You're untethered from the wall.
yeah, and you don't need to remember to bring something with a UK plug or an
Yeah.
EU plug, or it's worldwide compatible, which is a great advantage. I always remember when we were quite early in going down the USB road, there was a guy, he was a boyfriend of one of our staff. He was a drummer, and he came in with this like bag, and he said, like, this is my bag of power
Yeah.
supplies that I bring to every gig, and I'm a drummer, right?
Right.
So, the synth guys and the guitar guys, they had even more power gear. So we really thought, you can slim down on this, you can improve this, and make it easier for people. And I think that's yeah,
While also being reassured, like we took upon ourselves to become experts in spec'ing this stuff out. So people didn't have to worry about spec. They just knew it was going to work, because really that's all they want to do. All people want to do is make music or buy things. That's the other thing they want to do.
Well, that's it. But and in that area, actually, like Caroline does great work in sort of managing and optimizing that database, because it's one of those things that it's hard to do well. Like it's the idea of just making available the right power supply to the right device is good, but you might have things like one particular device might have a Mark II, which is a different polarity or a different voltage, and potentially people can plug the wrong thing in. So we have a whole sort of framework of what we call like our issue system, where we monitor and manage any issue that comes up on a per product identity basis. So we sort of really keep an eye on making sure that people not only get the right thing when we first sort of design our database, but we maintain and monitor for any sort of inaccuracies, and that helps as well, right?
It's like a triangulation of product development, customer service, and product specification. And from that, we refine and we keep being relevant, I think, as well. We keep our information fresh. We monitor new things that are coming out. And we want to give people what they want, really. It's all about the customer, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, that's it. And the database, as Karen said, is always evolving. But with the USB thing, I mean, obviously that sort of runs in parallel, because if you know what the power specification is, you know what the DC pitch specification is, you know what the voltage is, you can then say, okay, well now USB looks like it could power. I mean, I think we found with Ripcord, it was our first USB power solution, we found that something like 60% of the stuff that we sold power supplies for could be USB powered. Just quite a lot.
Because as you say, they're low power. Most musical instruments, they don't need a huge amount of juice, a lot of them. Well, that's changing though, in a way, isn't it?
Well, and it is changing, and so there's more standard. But we also had an eye on the future, because we knew that USB was improving as a standard, first of all, in terms of sort of safety and compatibility, but also in terms of the amount of power available. So we knew that it was, and this is why we've developed our latest product, with the Step Up, which allows 3 to 5 times as much power as Ripcord. So quite a lot. I mean, it'll power your laptop, which is, I suppose, a good place to start. You can do that. You can do almost anything, right?
Yes. Yeah. Totally. Brilliant.
Yeah.
I have a Ripcord here. I just thought it'd be interesting to show, because you're talking about USB power. Well, actually, I have an early Ripcord as well. So we had like a kind of a black box version.
Yeah.
That's like a very early one. That was really proof of concept. Yeah. But we sold it and people really liked it, and that led us on to develop. Well, to do the Kickstarter journey.
I always remember that particular cable. It's basically. We used to call it like our black box, or small batch version. But I remember we were traveling, we went over to Berlin, and we talked to all the musicians over there early on, and we were on a train journey from Berlin afterwards, and we were talking to a guy on a train who happened to be a musician, and we showed it to him. And I always remember we showed him, and he sort of said, yes, it is nice, but aesthetically it is not so pleasing. And sort of burnt a little bit.
You took that to heart.
Well, I think we needed to hear it, and I think that made us pull together a design team, and then try and make sure that we made something that was long lasting as it is, hard-wearing and compatible and suitable and easy to use, but also
look sexy.
Looks good. Yeah, you need a bit of sexy.
You do need a bit of sexy. That's great. And so that brought us to this Ripcord. That was quite a journey with the Kickstarter campaign and development after that. Do you have anything you want to demo and show us around Ripcord, or will I, or will we just move on to the next?
Well, I think the basic principle of it I think people sort of know. I mean, maybe it'd be good to get a quick demo of just, well, maybe, I mean, if you had the stuff there, if
I
you
have
just
the
go
stuff
through,
here. I'm
I mean,
reasonably well prepared.
yeah, well,
I'm,
just before you do that, maybe I'll just talk through. I mean, one thing, about our solution, and I think about how we operate as a company, that I think, yields like the interesting products is that like it's not so much that we know where we're going a lot of the time, but we're trying to solve like problems, and one problem leads to the next. So
yeah.
because we wanted to make it so people, in the first place, people if people are buying sort of cold tariff lights, they're quite expensive, and they have 4 or 5 voltas. And people spending over €100 on tariff lights didn't
Or
sense.
zillions of batteries.
Yeah, exactly, which is good for no one, like we thought that, we started off, I think, by making like a splitter cable,
Yeah.
which allowed us to, so it's one input and 5 outputs. So you can at one time, because there is the power available in a Korg power supply to power that many devices. It's just that it doesn't really make sense because we're buying 6 of them. And then we realized that was useful, but then we thought, well, we'll bring in the USB thing, and that made it more convenient and more flexible.
And of course,
Then,
this 5-way power supply is compatible with the Ripcord as well. So you can power 5 Volcas off one USB port with a Ripcord.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, but maybe I'll leave you, Caroline, to explain.
I'll do a little bit of demoing. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
going to
yeah, that'll be good.
have a camera here. This is a little bit messy. This is the reality, isn't it? This is like people's desks. They do be a little bit messy. So I have a couple of Volcas here. So I'm just, actually, why don't I just show the 5-way splitter? So I have a 9-volt Ripcord here, and it's plugged into a USB power bank. And I'm not even going to undo it. I'm just going to plug it in there, and then plugs into Volcas using 2 of the tails, and then the other ones are free or just still cinched together. And there we go. And that powers on, and it's super nice. So just wanted to have a little bit of a demo scene as I set up the camera and everything. So that was a very big step for us, I think, in terms of meeting the needs of customers and people going, oh yeah, this is great. I actually need this. It's so much less hassle, and it actually makes me use my gear more. I think we love to hear that when people go, oh yeah, I buy a lot of stuff. I have a lot of stuff in my house, but something that actually encourages me to actually turn it on and get more use out of it. I think that's one of the most exciting things about what we do, really.
Yeah, I mean, even things like the candy cords we made, like it's a simple thing, but the color seems to brighten up people's minds when they sort of think, oh, I'll just go for that, and I'll pick it up and I'll play, and
Yeah.
just that simple enthusiasm that gets generated, I think, is really important to us.
Getting people excited
Yeah,
about their gear.
yeah,
And gear's expensive, my gear is expensive. People have a lot of it. So I love hearing it. And like, we also always talk to our customers. I think that's a key part of what we do. Like, finding out, like, even I remember when I noticed that people were buying 4 or 5 plugs for the Volks, and I was like, why are people buying 5 plugs? And like mailed 20 people or whatever, and then having good conversations, and people going, yeah, it's because I have 5 of them synced up, and it's like, oh, of course. But like, how wonderful to solve annoying, irritating problems for people, I think.
yeah,
And the real problems, and like, that's why you get out and you chat to people, right? And you mail them and you go, what's going on? And we always say to people, tell us how
yeah.
you're using your gear. Tell us about your problems. We want to solve your problems.
Well, that's where we, like any of the products we make, we make nothing that isn't a solution to a problem that people have been telling us about for a long time. That we like our products are basically the harvest from all the things the customers have said to us.
All the conversations, yeah. All of it, and all the reviews, all the things where people give out, lest we forget. People sometimes give out, but we're here to listen to you giving out. Will we skip forward a little bit and go to our latest evolution of how we're powering
Yeah.
Well, why don't you talk us
Yeah.
through, maybe you've probably got a step
Well,
up there, Luke, do you?
I,
Step
well,
up
I do.
and crazy
I've
chain.
got one to hand here. So yeah, I mean, this. You won't be able to see it, but this is our little latest USB-C based step-up adapter. We made one of the variations we made here is that we actually made it with a Volca size tip. So that means that you don't need any tip size adaptation in order to go straight in.
Yeah, because
So
everyone knows the Volk has that little tip. It's just a little bit different to your standard guitar pedal or whatever. It's just that slightly different size. Yeah.
so you can go straight in. And as everyone knows, USB-C is the the upcoming standard that's like taking over. Even if you've got an iPhone, they even convinced Apple to join in. So I mean, I think if they can do that, they can do anything, right?
Right.
But that means that you've got a nice simple connector that's everywhere. Even if you don't forget your cable bits and pieces, this is a very small piece of gear. When you think of the size of a power supply, to go from a power supply to having to remember to bring this thing, that's much easier life, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So like I said, it does give you the advantage of having sort of more power, which in the case of Volcas means that you can power as many Volcas as you want. You can also sort of we've got our crazy chain solution, which is a good way of bringing one of these connections into a second Volta without needing our 1 to 5 connector. So I can sort of plug my USB-C cable in here, and that gives me my USB power. This goes into Volta 1, this goes into Volta 2. So I can power 2 Voltas, and these are modular, so I can keep sort of adding more to the thing every.
I can show you that. So maybe will I have I'll have a little go in on my camera here and show you that. So that's what you just did, the step up connecting into the cable and then into the USB-C. And here's the crazy chain. So it's going into crazy chain, which distributes the power, then distributes it to 1 Volca and 2. And you can see that's a good deal neater than the 5-way. And I suppose it's more sophisticated. It has a bit more features. There's a light here that shows the thing is live and powering. So there's some reassurance there. And it also shows the polarity is correct. It's blue for the correct polarity. So you've reassurance. Oh, I know my gear is going to power. As opposed to, I hope my gear is going to power when there's a light is nice, right? Who doesn't like just that little bit of reassurance?
Yeah. I mean, so many of our products are about using the sound and reassure things are working.
Yeah.
But that thing of the polarity indicator, we made a product called Hotfit a while ago, which is basically something that goes onto the end of a DC connector, and it indicates polarity. So you can use it in line, but it means that even as a power supply tester, or if you just want to check what polarity and output is, it was a useful thing. You just put it on the end of the DC connector.
Yeah.
But we like that as a product. We like crazy chain as a product. So we thought, well, we make the two of them together. It's a real win to have like polarity indication and the reassurance, like I said, of a light to know that there's power at every step of the chain. It allows you to sort of be reassured and know what's going on.
Yeah.
We've even got a nice little one of the crazy chains changes polarity, so therefore you've got a blue light for positive polarity on one end and a red for the other, or vice versa. So kind of fun.
So you can power a bunch of stuff off one 9-volt source. Maybe we can demo that another time. I think that's that's worthy of its own piece of demonstration, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so much involved this, and people spend so much time with their Volcas, and it's so central to a lot of people's setup that I think it's worth we should do 5 sort of demos with Volcas and still not run out. And the thing a lot they can do that they fit in everywhere.
Brilliant. So does that take us on a little journey there from loads of horrible batteries to this elegant step-up solution? I think that tells us a little bit of a story and a little bit about myVolts.
Yeah, I think so. And maybe if whoever's watching this, if you enjoy it and you think that you'd like to know more about us as a company and the product we make and how to use them, maybe let us know in comments or whatever else, or send us an email. We always want to know.
We're always around. We're always around for chat. Like we want to know and we want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Thanks, Sue.
Thank